Why is feeling frustration and self-doubt when learning English actually a good thing? Welcome back to Sprout's bite-sized English podcast for your ears to chew on. Today's topic is learning how to learn, and I'll be chatting with you about one technique that helped me overcome my frustration and my self-doubt on my journey. And I hope it can help you with your English learning journey to become more confident in speaking situations, such as an IELTS speaking exam or a job interview. And as always, I love words, so at the end of every episode, I'm going to be sharing my favourite word of the day. So, grab yourself a coffee, a cuppa, or a matcha, and let's get stuck in. In the winter of 2021, I was living in Edinburgh, which is the capital of Scotland. And I worked in a cafe, doing long shifts, about 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. And at that moment in my life, I felt stuck. I felt frustrated. I always had this dream of having a YouTube channel and helping people, inspiring people. But at the time, I was working in a cafe. There was a gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. But there was one day I was working a long shift in the cafe and I walked home in the dark. It was freezing cold, wearing a big coat. I could see my breath in the cold Scottish air. And I decided to stop by in my favourite bookshop on the way home. And a book caught my eye called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman. And that book was the beginning of change for me. So I took it home and I started reading it. And the main idea in that book is that our beliefs shape who we are. So if you take an athlete, a pianist, or a public speaker, what things do they have in common? Well, they all share one thing, and that thing is a different identity, an alter ego. So an athlete before a race will mentally rehearse in his or her mind. A pianist before a concert will mentally rehearse. And a public speaker will also mentally rehearse themselves on stage before giving a speech. To mentally rehearse is to practice something in your mind before you do it in real life. I started applying what I learned in the book. I started practicing visualization, questioning my limiting beliefs, dealing with my frustrations of the gap of where I was and where I wanted to be. And it was through applying that visualization, of seeing myself as a confident person, someone who is charismatic, someone who has a successful YouTube channel. Playing that picture in my mind allowed me to step into that identity and start moving towards that reality. That then led to starting the YouTube channel, which has now grown to over 500,000. Amazing. And I'm so happy to now have become the founder of Sprout and to be talking to all of you guys at home. It really makes me happy to see how far I've come. So the main idea that I took from the book was the learning technique of visualization. And I want to share a simple exercise that we can do together right now that can hopefully help you in nerve-wracking situations, whenever you feel nervous or frustrated that you can't communicate in the way that you want to. So maybe it could be an IELTS speaking exam, maybe it could be a job interview, or it could be giving a presentation at work. Now let's take a job interview. So I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Now, we're going to visualize ourselves in a job interview. And I want us to bring in a positive feeling into this visualization. So whatever resonates with you, it could be courage, calmness, confidence. Pick a word and a feeling that resonates with you and bring that into this visualization. And if you can speak out loud when you do this, even better. So I'm going to show you an example now. I'm going to bring in the feelings of calmness, confidence, and curiosity. I'm sitting in an office chair. It's comfortable. There is a wooden table in front of me and 2 interviewers, dressed smartly in suits. They are smiling and friendly, and I am smiling and friendly. They're asking me questions, and I'm speaking English and feeling confident with my English. I'm able to express myself. I'm able to share my passion for this job opportunity and what I will bring to this company. At the end of the interview, they stand up, I stand up, we shake hands, and I leave that interview room feeling confident, feeling optimistic about the future. Open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. You're back in the room. How do you feel after that small visualization? I hope just a little bit more confidence. And you can use this visualization with any situation that makes you feel nervous when speaking English. It could be a job interview. It could be a meeting at work. Anytime you feel fear of speaking or anxiety of speaking, you can use visualization to practice in your mind before you practice in reality. I want you to know that you learning English as a non-native English speaker already puts you at a higher level than native speakers, because the majority of native speakers can't speak a second language. You have a bilingual brain. You have learnt a second language, and that's something that you should be proud of. I hope that this technique of visualization can help you in your English learning journey, just as it helped me overcome my own frustrations and my own self-doubts. And now it's time for my favorite word of the day, which links to the visualization exercise we've been doing. And this word is inquisitive. Isn't that a beautiful word? Inquisitive. What does it mean, Jay? Well, I'm glad you asked. Inquisitive means very curious, always asking questions and eager to learn. An example sentence could be, he has an inquisitive mind. He's always asking questions and learning new things. I actually wrote a mini poem, a mini rhyme, to help you remember the meaning of inquisitive. Any question I have, I write it on paper. I've always had an inquisitive nature. I challenge you to use the word inquisitive in your speaking today. If you're a Sprout learner, you know what to do. Practice the words you learned in this video with your flashcards. Then speak about the video, share your opinions, your ideas on this topic with JI. And I really encourage you to speak as much as possible about the ideas in this video and share your opinions. We learn the most when we are in uncomfortable situations, when things feel frustrating. That is when we are doing the most learning. Have a beautiful day and happy learning. Peace.